Hey people, Demon here, and today I am reviewing BNA. At first, I didn't know that's how people would say it, but I thought it was banana. But anyways, I actually really enjoyed this series. By the way, there will be spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, I would suggest going to watch it because I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, go and watch it if you haven't watched it. It's only 12 episodes long. The episodes are about 20, 25 minutes or so. Maybe half an hour. I didn't really look at all the time marks on all the episodes. But yeah, let's get into the spoiler section. So basically, this is a story about this girl who turns into a beast man or beast woman, I guess. Um, she turns into a beast woman, and she used to be a human. And there's lots of prejudice against the beast people, like to an extreme extent where they're even being hunted down by people, and no one's actually stopping it. So it's pretty fucked up. It's pretty bad. It's pretty fucked up. Uh, it's kind of like racism put to a whole nother level. It's it's messed up. Um, but yeah, they're all getting hunted down and stuff, and sometimes like there's obviously good people in the world, but some of them don't see good people and they see mostly bad people because most people don't think they have the right, even though it's more modern society and you would think that'd be the opposite. But I don't know, if we discovered beastmen existed today, would most people be afraid of them or most people accept them? I know one group that would accept them, the furries. The same. um but anyways, that's the whole plot line. And plus, there's also there's also a plot line to the plot line. There's also a plot line where Beastmen are put together, and they're put together too much that their emotions get the best of them, and they have like this. I forgot what they called it, but basically it makes them Hulk out and like enraged and start fighting people. It's pretty messed up. It makes them Hulk out and stuff. It's just like whoa. Um, and it's all about this like sickness that they have. Uh, and it's messed up because it's just a sickness that they have when they get enraged. And the whole plot line, spoiler alert, is that this one pharmaceutical company that's supposedly ran by a human, but it's actually ran by a beast man who's actually immortal and sort of a kind of god, I guess. And there's also a different kind of god that was the protector of Beastman and hated humans, and then realized like maybe not all humans are bad, and maybe some Beastmen are bad, which doesn't really make sense. I mean, it does make sense, but it's kind of like whoa. But basically, they're making this medicine to turn them back into humans because this one Beastman wants to keep superiority, I guess. And plus, he thinks that they don't deserve to be Beastman, I guess. And at first, you think like, oh, he's a human, he's evil, he's dastardly, he wants to turn them into beast. He wants to turn them into humans to get rid of the Beastman problem. And then, ta-da! All things are done. But it turns out he's a Beastman. And he wants to turn them into humans because he thinks they're basically mutts. They're hybrids. They're like disgusting. Like oh, gross. Because he's like a child of purebreds, and he has three heads when he turns into his ultimate form. Because incest babies, most of the time have deformities, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of alluding to like the Aryan race and stuff like that. I don't know if it's alluding to incest babies exactly, but you could probably consider that like that's like that might be a little hint towards incestuous a little bit because back in ancient times there used to be a lot more incest, and he is semi-immortal. But yeah, basically they're trying to turn them into humans, and yes, there are humans working with them to turn them into humans because they also want to get rid of the beast problem. But then the good guys are trying to stop them and turn the bad guy and turn the beastified beastman back into normal beastman, which they can do because of this incident that happened that turned our main character into a beastman. So it's pretty interesting to say the least. So yeah, they're trying to turn them into humans. I know I just rambled on for like a minute there. That was a very good explanation. Basically, bad guy wants to turn beast guys into humans because purebred asshole, and human prejudice. Um, Good guy wants to stop this sickness from happening because good guy. And also two immortal gods because different universe, I guess. I mean, cartoon or anime. So yeah, just difference. Which is interesting. It's an interesting story. Now, there's a few things that didn't make sense to me in this. I want to get into that first. Like, uh, the first thing is why, why? I guess I could say like, why is there so much prejudice against the Beastman? Like prejudiced. But then again, humanity does suck most of the time, so I can get that, I guess. But even in a modern society, that's kind of weird. But I guess it's story, right? It's just the universe they live in. The second one is that this syndrome comes along, especially when there's more Beastmen packed into one area, which doesn't make sense because normal animals, when they're packed into one area, yeah, there's gonna be fighting and stuff, and they're gonna eat each other, but they're not gonna like turn into monsters. So that doesn't really make sense. But I guess you could say like, oh well, the explanation for that is because they're not animals; they're animal-human hybrids, which is a thing, I guess. The third one that doesn't make sense is there's a discrepancy between Beastman and Beastwoman, pretty much, and sometimes if you don't like have a good thing as a Beastwoman, you can get fucked over, and just it's bad news for you because I guess Beastwomen are treated to a different extent here, but that also doesn't make sense to me. I guess they're trying to say hey, like sexism does exist and stuff, which it obviously does, but not like it's to the like extreme extent. And plus, it doesn't make sense to me because there are several animals, and insects actually, that are female dominated. Like the females are pretty much like the leader of the pack. You could take like hyenas are one of them, which is by the way is one of the bad guys who's bad mouthing the women's. Even though hyenas are more female dominated, which I actually looked up. I looked up and there was a few of them. I forgot all of them, but there was hyenas. I think there was elephants there too. And there was lions to a certain extent because a lion has like it's a lion pride again around one male, but the females do most of the work and stuff. And they have been known if the male lion like fucks up and like is like basically like a waste. They have been known to like excommunicado them or even murder them to get them out of the pride to get a new male lion in there. So it doesn't make sense in animal terms that females are necessarily put down like that, at least for some animals. But then again, I guess you could say, well, they're animal-human hybrids, and that's why. So I guess that makes sense. I guess it's just anime logic. Another thing that doesn't make sense is like the mayor or the leader of the city that has its own rules and stuff. She leaves the city and it kind of sucks. Like, there's like these really shitty slums, which I guess is reality. In reality, like people live in slums and there's a lot of fucked up things that happen in reality that really sucks. So I guess to a certain extent it kind of mimics reality, especially in some places more than others. But it's kind of like over hyperbolized, I guess, because there's like these slums, and then people fight for dominance, and there's no cops that will stop them from fighting and stuff like that, and there's just a bunch of different rules, and they kind of just let this happen, and they're like, oh, that's just the way we work, I guess, like they kind of put her in charge, and doesn't really make any sense. Because she was a doctor, they put her in charge, and they're like, make your own rules and stuff. And she's like, okay, she kind of botched it. And then at the end, she's like, I'm going to change a lot of things and make this place better. what she should have done in the first place, but she made it kind of shitty in the first place. So kind of dumb. Another thing that didn't make sense, or another thing that I guess didn't make sense to me at least, is she's a doctor and she finds out all about these things and all about this sickness that wasn't prevalent to anybody until today, even though it happened before, but no one knew about it, I guess, except for the purebred. So it didn't fucking make sense at all. Like, it made no sense. So it's just like, oh, like, we know about this. Now we're going to tell you about this, even though you probably should have known about this a long time ago. That doesn't make any sense. And then she's a doctor. She's supposed to be like a really good doctor and stuff like that. But she's like, the only way is to change them back into human. Like, you couldn't have been working on a different drug? Like, it just doesn't make sense that a proud beast woman as she is would just be like, well, the only way is to turn them into humans. Obviously, I gotta believe this guy because he's a scientist like I am. It's just like, no, you could work on different drugs to like suppress anger, or put some money into social programs to like get people help that they need, I guess, like therapy sessions and stuff. But yeah, you could work on a drug to suppress anger. I mean, they have drugs to suppress suicide in real life, or to suppress suicidal urges and like depression. So I assume there could be a drug to help with anger, or a drug to cure this stuff like right out, which they do discover at the end. But it's kind of weird that she never even thought about these things in the first place. It's just like, really? Really? Like, what? My green screen wasn't working very well. But yeah, that was kind of dumb. It was just like, really? Like, you're believing this person even though he's saying all this shit? You know? It's just like, kind of dumb. I guess that's really all the bad things about it that I can really think about, that really kind of just like, we're like, really? But yeah, that's about all of them. Let's move on to like the other stuff. So, how was the animation? The animation, it was fair. There were some parts in there where I was just like, but for the most part, it was pretty consistent and it was kind of interesting. It was okay. I will say it was okay. It wasn't like the top tier animation, but it wasn't bottom tier animation. It was like more like around here, sort of. Like average, maybe a bit above average, maybe a bit below average at some points, but just about average. So it was pretty good animation. Characters. I did enjoy the characters, even though they were kind of tropey at certain points. Like the main character, she's good and she wants to help, and just she's just a good person. She doesn't really have any more depth than she's a good person that wants to help. So yeah. And then the other main character, he's a broody guy, but he's good. He's also a trope, but he's also good, but he also has a dark past, and he also hates certain things. But at the end, he like finds out he loves them as well. Like at the end, he kind of like learns how to forgive and maybe love, and just like he's starting to come around to the idea of like maybe all humans aren't that bad. Maybe not every human is that bad, which is like, eh. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. It's kind of dumb. Uh, and then there's one character who is being obviously manipulated, which is another bad thing I forgot to mention, by the way. The storyline, pretty tellable. I will admit that. The storyline was pretty predictable. It was just like, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Like, it might take a few episodes, but eventually you're going to be like, I think that's going to happen. And usually, you'll be right. At least, that was me, in my personal opinion. I thought, like, is that going to happen? It's probably going to happen. That does happen. So, for the majority of the part, what I predicted came true, I guess. But back to the characters. There's one character that was kind of an attention seeker, kind of an attention whore. And she pretended to be a cult leader, and then at the end she said that she was human, which is stupid, and she was hanging out with this creepy guy who was creepy, and at the end it turned out he was super creepy and kind of rapey, so that was pretty fucked up. But at the end, she was saved, so pretty good. Um, but yeah, all in all, pretty good show. It has some flaws. The characters are kind of tropey, to be honest. Um, just tropey in general. The animation, pretty good. And the plot line, it doesn't really make sense here and there. But for the most part, it's okay. Just animation logic, I guess, anime logic. So, all in all, I would say it's pretty good, and it's a good season. And if there's a second season, I will definitely watch it and review it, and obviously upload it. And you guys can watch that. But yeah, all in all, pretty good. And that's about it. That's about it. Anyways, if you guys like this, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification. Link down below to my Twitter. And remember, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Shadow, my baby, I love you so much. You're my baby. And you love to sleep in the bathtub. 'Cause you're a weirdo. Shadow, look. Look over here, buddy. Look over here.